So the three pictures you are seeing up there, they are all the problems of Nigeria we are facing today. Those three pictures you are seeing there. After the 1966 coup between Aguiyi-Ironsi, Kaduna Zogu, a whole lot of them, Gowon took over. I think Gowon was the longest ruling head of state of Nigeria. And again, Ojukwu was the governor, eastern part of Nigeria. And mind you, there was a power tussle between Ojukwu and Gowon. Heavy power tussle. Superiority and minority or inferiority, power tussle between these military personnel then. And at the end of the day, civil war. We all know what resulted in the civil war and the rest. Of course, the researchers are up there. Civil war. And Ojukwu, of course, claims we are saying that Ojukwu declared for secession of eastern part of Nigeria because Gowon's government failed to protect the businesses of the Igbo people in the northern part of Nigeria. Of course, that is also a reason. That is also what? A reason. But what I think there is that civil war broke out because Ojukwu was higher in rank than Gowon. All of a sudden, Gowon became the Nigerian general head of state. Do you understand me? Irrespective of how they may paint it or whatever resulted to that, and when Gowon took over, Ojukwu felt intimidated and felt that he ought to have been the head of state. And there was a power tussle before the Ojukwu declared for secession of the eastern part of Nigeria so that he would be leading the eastern part of Nigeria as their own president on his own. And Gowon said no. Gowon said no, not just said no, because remember, the United Kingdom was also siding the part of Nigeria, and they wouldn't want Nigeria to break because of the Nigerian natural resources and their colonial effect in Africa, especially Nigeria. And that was why during the Civil War, the UK, America, they all stood behind Nigeria, fighting the eastern part of Nigeria or Biafra. So the Biafra Nigeria war distorted and destabilized both Nigeria and the southern eastern part of Nigeria. And Nigeria was never the same again. Nigeria was never the same again, and a whole lot of lives of millions of Igbos were killed in that war. Now, coming back to 1993 general election, Ibrahim Babangida again created another historical event that today he shouldn't be forgiven for. Because I was even thinking that at his book launch, IBB also have been jailed. He ought to have been arrested and jailed because because he admitted it publicly, public admittance that you were responsible for the annulment of the June 12, 1993 general election. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? Because a reasonable government ought to have. But guess what? He was saying it and laughing. He was surrounded by his political caucus because they know themselves. Obasanjo was there. President 001 was there. They all knew themselves. In fact, instead of them to be on sober reflection, reflecting on how they have jeopardized and annihilated innocent Nigerians because of their selfish interest, they were busy donating and raising billions upon billions to please themselves and one of their squad. Because 1993 general election, if MKO Abiola had become the president of this country, probably Nigeria trajectory would have taken another dimension. Nigeria political navigation would have been another dimension. But guess what? It wasn't like that. It didn't end up like that. And today, These three men you are seeing up there remain the greatest weapon fashioned against the citizens of Nigeria. Irrespective, because they were all fighting for their own personal interest. Interest. And that was what killed Nigeria today. Guys, if you watch this video down to this extent, click on the subscribe button to subscribe to this channel.